Welcome into Bleav in Twins, episode 22. I am Anders Pryor alongside my wonderful co-host, Twins expert, and analyst, Zac Tipton. Zac, great to see you. Zac's got a special event tonight, which when he told me, I had to kind of process for a second. It was a real kind of like time zones are more different than I actually really understood that they were. But Zac has a football game tonight to attend to.
Yes, Cardinals Chargers here in the Valley.
Tell us the story about how you got the tickets.
So, it was very simple. My family friends from South Dakota, their son goes to, I Bleav, Northern Arizona, or goes to University of Northern Arizona. Or NAU, I guess it is. It's Northern Arizona University. And so they were going to come down to visit him, and he really wanted to go to a football game. And so luckily the Cardinals played on Monday night this week. So they got tickets to that, and they asked if I wanted to join them, very simply. And they asked about a month ago, so I've known for about a month I'm going, and they were like, so I'm like, yes, I'm going. I would happily go. And so I've had that kind of plan for a while.
Right.
They do have an extra one as well, so I've had a lot of trouble figuring out how that extra one's gonna work. But no, it's very hype. And we are very excited to make it work, and I'm very excited to just go to football games. I haven't been to an NFL game since, oh god, when was the last time I was actually at an NFL game? I guess probably Eagles preseason game. I think I went to a couple of years ago.
Okay.
But this was my first regular season game.
Yep.
Since Vikings Cardinals, when Xavier Rhodes had a pick six and Cordell Patterson had a kick return for a touchdown. That tells you how long ago that was by those names right there. Yeah. If you know Xavier Rhodes, most Minnesota fans will know Xavier Rhodes and Cordell Patterson.
I always got Xavier Rhodes in. Yeah, no, he was on the Colts, then the Vikings, or in reverse order?
He was Vikings always. He was drafted by the Vikings, was on the Vikings for like 7-8 years.
So then, am I thinking of a different Xavier then? That was on the Colts. Xavier.
No, he went to the Colts after. He went to the Colts after the Vikings. But he went to the Colts after the Vikings because he kind of fell apart on the.
That's right.
Oh, we got breaking news.
Oh, we do.
Also, I don't know if you just saw this. Well, you probably might have seen this already.
Maybe.
Brandon Ayuk is out for the year with a knee injury.
Oh man.
Officially.
Jeez.
Which just means my fantasy team is going to keep getting worse here. Ayuk is obviously going to be one of the biggest busts of the fantasy season this year.
Yep. Yeah.
But he did that one really good week a couple weeks ago that kind of got everyone thinking maybe he's back. He is not back. He is officially out for the season. So, but quickly back to the Cardinals thing. So, no, it's Xavier Rhodes was a Viking for a very long time. He then had that insane 2017 season where he was first team All-Pro and Pro Bowler. Was basically the best lockdown corner in football in 2017. And then 2018, he was still good, but he wasn't great. But he made the Pro Bowl still. And then he fell apart in 2019. That was kind of his last good year. And so he left the Vikings, and then he went to the Colts next. So that was Xavier Rhodes' story. But Rhodes was always a guy we trusted forever. He was so good for us. I really do miss him. But yeah, he went to the Colts after, and he was a Bills and a Cowboys for the same year, basically. He didn't really last long. I think he's retired now.
I don't even really remember him on either of those teams.
Yeah, no. I don't think anyone does. I don't even remember. I had to look it up. So no, yeah, that was Xavier Rhodes. But I'm excited to go to a game today. I'm excited to go. Actually, I did mess up though. It's not my first game since then. My first game before that was I did go to the Eagles. I did go to the Giants-Vikings game in the Meadowlands. I think it's my freshman year of college, or like my freshman year of college. I went to Vikings-Giants in the Meadowlands. It was Daniel Jones's second game ever. Mm-hmm. So yes. I got my starting to hate Daniel Jones early on in his career. But no, Daniel Jones. Remember Daniel Jones had that insane first career game.
Yeah,
Like it was Danny Dimes like first career game with like 300 yards,
yeah,
3 TDs and like that. He was like insane. Everyone's like Daniel Jones is the future.
yep.
I went to the next game when the Vikings take him back down to earth pretty heavily. I was at that game. And Adam Thielen had like 150 yards receiving, and it was a great game. It was a fantastic game to go to.
Zac is going to be in. It's State Farm Arena, right?
Yes, I believe.
Okay.
No. Yeah, I think it's State Farm Stadium. I think it's State Farm Stadium.
Is it Stadium or Arena? No,
it's State Farm Stadium. Arena is the Hawks. State Farm Arena is the Hawks.
That's right. Okay, that's right. That's
the Atlanta Hawks.
So State Farm Stadium, yeah. So
which I will also be in State Farm Arena in January. So fun, and January will be in State Farm Arena. So I'll be in both of them at this point.
I will. I have never been in. I've never been to a preseason NFL game before, and I've never been to an indoor facility. I have not for a game. I have been given a tour. I went on a tour of AT&T a couple of summers ago. I was doing a road trip in Texas, and so I did a tour of AT&T. But in terms of an actual NFL game, I've never done. Excuse me. I've never seen a game at AT&T, State Farm, Caesar's Palace, Mercedes,
US Bank.
US Bank, Allegiant, any of those. So
I think this will be if I want to make sure I get the number right here, including preseason, postseason, and all of the above. I think this will be my third, fourth, fifth. I believe this will be my sixth NFL game I've ever been to. Or no. Yeah, six. I went to a game in Meadowlands. I went to a game in Philadelphia preseason. I've been to 2 US Bank. I've been to 1 Metrodome, and then I've been to State Farm Stadium once. I went to a Packers Cardinals game there. That year the Cardinals made the NFC Championship game. I forget what year that was that they made the NFC Championship game. And they lost to the Falcons, I think it was. So whatever that year that Falcons Cardinals NFC Championship game was.
Yeah.
They played Green Bay early in the season and then played them again in the postseason. But I was at the game they played them in the regular season, and Aaron Rodgers got sacked 8 times in one game, and it was the greatest experience of my life because I hated Aaron Rodgers, and I still do. Right, Anders?
Yeah.
How do we think about Aaron Rodgers, Anders?
I'm starting to mirror you there.
Different
thing, but it's a mutual interest.
Just to be clear, Andrew's a Jets fan here, so I will make fun of him until the year's end.
I've never been. I don't hate MetLife the way that a lot of people do, but like I do under like all those places I mentioned. I left out Ford Field. That's the other one. I actually do kind of. I actually kind of like the idea of like rooting for like a team in like an indoor place because you know like that first game like week 1 or like usually the home opener for like a place like Miami is like going to be like in the high 90s and it's going to be like so hot it's especially depending on like the part of the facility that you're like standing in or sitting in, like it's going to be unbearable. It's going to make the game like concentrating on the game difficult. And then for like all those like other places, like, for like Lambeau or like, up in Buffalo, Soldier Field, when we get to like December, like the weather is so awful and it takes so much out of you that like, it's the only thing you're doing that day. And by the time you get home, unless you win, you're like exhausted. And like, so it's good because like, you wear the appropriate stuff getting there, but if it's like super hot, then, it's more controlled. And then, if it's terrible outside, then, you don't have to like wear 5 layers just to bear yourself while watching the game. So I actually kind of, I think indoor is actually. I know like the whole like football weather thing. There's like perfect football weather, and that kind of adds to it. But I think overall indoor is preferable for me. If I've never done it, but I wish I had the chance to.
Oh, baby. Sorry, Anders. Sorry to cut you off. We also have another breaking news as of 1 minute ago.
Okay.
The Blue Jays have just hired David Popkins, former Twins hitting coach, as their current hitting coach.
Okay.
I just saw this, so I thought I'd say that.
Yeah.
It happened literally a minute ago. It was announced by the Blue Jays social media team. So David Popkins, the former Minnesota Twins hitting coach, who was just fired about a week ago, week and a half ago, has been hired to be the Blue Jays hitting coach. After the Blue Jays just had one of their worst seasons in a while.
Yeah.
In terms of offensive production.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was that. I thought that'd be amazing. Stay.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on that? Your thoughts on that, quick, Anders? Just your thoughts on.
I mean, no, collectively, not a great year offensively. I think I have been very open. Like I think John Schneider's like one of like the 6 or 7 worst managers in baseball. But you had a lot of Twin. On the whole, it was bad. Like I think last year they had a couple kind of specific young players have uniquely good seasons. But there had to be some kind of I thought the Blue Jays within this baseball space didn't get I think the appropriate level of flack for how disappointing they were. I think there were a lot of teams that we kind of pointed at more throughout the year. I do think that there had to be some sort of addition. I don't know. I think if they fail to make the playoffs next year, Schneider's probably gone. But no, I mean, we'll see. So Popkins, it's not it's not even necessarily like a reflection of like him and how like he did collectively like for the Twins like last year. Like a lot of guys had really off years, but like overall, like he was going to get like another job. And so shout out to him for kind of finding another opportunity. And that'll be interesting to see, especially.
I don't think he was a terrible hitting coach. Obviously, I think the couple of years he was here, I don't think we were that great offensively. I was always kind of disappointed with how our offense performed later in the season.
If Rocco wasn't going to go, someone had to.
And offense was definitely the key that would go to.
So that
with how good our pitching development had been leading up to that year and how good our pitching had been, I think you couldn't really make a decision on firing any pitching coaches. So I think offense was kind of how it had to go.
Right.
But that was that. I was very hyped for it. But moving on here, Anders.
Yep.
That is our
news pieces.
And
not even.
Yeah, I know. I just saw that. But so moving on, we are going to talk about something that happened last night. Unfortunately, Minnesota fans had to sit through and watch it. And I'm not talking about the Vikings-Lions game. I am actually talking about the WNBA Finals, which, to be fair, I'm going to be that guy. I am not a WNBA watcher. I do not watch WNBA. I have barely watched WNBA. I am a Caitlin Clark only WNBA guy. That is kind of how it's been. However, I have enjoyed watching the Lynx this postseason run, and I have very much enjoyed watching the Lynx this season. And I think the Lynx really should have won that game. Very truthfully, I think they should have won that game. Unfortunately, the New York Liberty won their first title in 28 in ever. I think it was 28 years.
28
They won it in overtime. I forget the final score. I think like 67-62 maybe. But they won by 5 in overtime. The Lynx scored 2 points in all of overtime. which is pretty embarrassing in my opinion. I watched this game and I was just like, what is happening? Sabrina Ionescu was terrible.
Yep.
Brianna Stewart was terrible. Courtney Williams was absolutely god awful to watch on the Lynx side. And I'm okay with Courtney Williams. She obviously had that big shot for us earlier in the series.
Mm-hmm.
But that was awful. And her performance in OT was one of the worst performances I've ever seen.
Yeah.
She was downright unplayable in OT.
Yeah.
We had to keep her out there because she's such a But Anders, did you get a chance to watch this game? And
I had to do a lot of sports juggling last night. I caught the fourth quarter and overtime. I made sure to at least get that. I thought Jonquel Jones, I thought she was the deserving MVP. Obviously, her best game, the 24.10 rebound game, came in the overtime loss in game one. But yeah, the most consistent, I think. Like Sabrina, that's kind of a debate, kind of like looking at her sort of performance in the series as a whole. I think last night she would have had to have, a level of play, as I'm trying to sort through a lot of here's Ionescu. Yeah, 5 points last night. And there was 10 point and then 10 points in the previous game. Yeah, no, the series as a whole for her was not like dominant enough to overcome that. And I also just thought Jones was the most kind of consistent throughout. So I thought that finals MVP was very well deserved. All the seeing Brianna Stewart with her kid after in the post game, like that, like being interviewed by Wolf, that was awesome. That was super cool to see. Yeah, no, I mean, it was the correct finals. It was the two best teams. I know a lot of people really liked the Suns and thought that they were maybe deeper defensively, had more defensive depth than the Lynx over the course of the season. But these are the two. It was the correct finals and it was the correct winner. I know some of the I know the quotes about the refs. I know that Stewart had a lot of free throws down the stretch, and she missed some important ones, but then got some other chances. So I understand. I
don't think that last play was a foul. I'm gonna say it. That last.
I thought she was on the wrist.
I thought it was all ball. I thought she got ball. Personally, I didn't think it was a foul there. But
I understand.
I was very upset. I was upset. That was a rough night. We had chance in overtime to win it.
Are you looking for the clip?
No, I am. I was looking for the clip. I can't find it.
You can't find it. Go look up the clip. Let us know if you think that last one was a foul or not.
Yes, go look it up and let us know if you think that foul that got Stewart to the line at the end of regulation was a foul. I thought it looked like she got all ball, but I could be wrong. I just thought it wasn't a foul. I thought it was a very clean
both ways. I mean, it went both ways too. I forget who it was that was driving to the hoop, but I thought that charge that was called against the Liberty player on Carlson on Carlton. I thought she was moving. I thought that shouldn't have been I thought her body was sliding and enough to. I know it maybe look in real time, maybe more than, but I thought that should have been a defensive foul. But no, I get it. It was maybe the as a whole, for both sides, maybe a little bit more of a ref controlled final game than you would have liked. But no, it was super entertaining.
It was.
They need to make those. I know, like, it's like different level. The WNBA does it in the same way that the MLB does it, where like the amount of games in each thing is different. I think they should make. I think they should make the final series a 7-game one.
Okay.
That's what I think they should do, because I know it's 2 out of 3 in the first round, and then 3 out of 5 in the I forget, in the second round, in the semifinals, is it 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 5? I forget.
I forget.
Actually, no, it's 3 out of 5. It's 3 out of 5 in the second round. Because the Liberty beat the Aces 3-1, I think. But they should make the finals 4 out of 7. Because I needed more. I needed more. 5, that felt a little short. That should have gone 4. Because like the phrase Game 7 like has like a unique meaning to it outside of like just what it is, and people like apply that to like all kinds of stuff outside of sports. So like I feel like giving the NBA, I feel like the WNBA kind of deserves something, deserves that, at least in the literal sense, right? Like, Game 5 doesn't have, whatever. So, but it was super entertaining regardless. I was glad to watch it. Yeah, no, I don't have anything negative.
Yeah, I don't think else Saturday there either. So let's move on. And I'm gonna switch up. We're gonna do Twins. We're gonna do World Series and Twins. I'm gonna switch it. Let's do the Twins thing now.
Yep.
So what we're gonna talk about now is the Twins released their Diamond Awards this past week.
Yep.
5 days ago to success. To be specific, I don't know why I cannot say that. And basically, it drew a lot of controversy. I'm not gonna lie. There were a lot of people that didn't agree with it. Willie Castro was named the most valuable Twin award. And
Zach,
a lot of people didn't agree with that.
Show if that was sad or not.
It was sad, but I also was it him? Was he our most valuable player? A lot of people have been saying no. But Anders, I want to get your take. Is Willie Castro the most valuable Twin this year?
He was the most consistent, and how many games did he play? God,
almost every one of them.
Yeah, I don't think it's 162. I maybe if you could find that exact number, it's got to be at least 100. It's got to be at least 160. But no, I mean, most available, most consistent, most versatile. No one had. Maybe some players when they got like really hot, they maybe had like higher, like kind of like offensive juggernaut peaks. And
158, Anders.
158. Okay, yeah. So most available, most consistent, most positionally versatile. Not quite the highs as a lot of other guys, but those highs for those other guys either were not as long or they were having them and then they got hurt. So it's really it's really hard to push back from it just because of how many boxes he checks, even though it might seem, like a little unexciting of a pick. But maybe it's like a thing where, like, because he's never really been like the most valuable player, like on a team, like to this point, like maybe it's something where we assume it's like there's a debate that it's kind of sad because of that, but it's like, okay, well, maybe this is just like who he is, and like maybe like it's more of an accurate reflection. It shouldn't be as sad. Maybe like this is going to be like all of these boxes that he checks are like things that he can be at an even higher level like next year and like going forward, and maybe that should be something we should be exciting about. But I don't know about you, Zach. I can't really think of a person to like I can't think of a position player that is more deserving.
I mean, the only other person I could think of that I'd probably give it to just because of how bad we were without him is probably Carlos Correa.
Sure.
In terms of that, like he didn't miss all season, but he was so good when he played that it's hard for me not to say Carlos Correa.
Yeah.
There, like he was on a tear. I do believe that like Carlos Santana probably could have got some nod for this as well.
Sure. Yeah.
With how clutch he was. I just think Willie Castro had a really bad second half of the season. Had a really rough second half of the season, and he was a big part of the reason why we collapsed hard because he was almost unplayable.
Yeah.
And I don't know how he's a goal finalist, to be straight up with you. He's not a great goal play. He's not a good defender. He was not a good D. He's not a great defender this year. But he is but he is, so congrats to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't know if I'd probably give him it. I'd probably still say Correa at this point. It was team MVP.
How many games did Correa play?
He missed a ton there at the end. But let me look.
Right. Because like it's hard to say, like with regular MVPs, right? Like if
he played 86.
86, yeah. So like I don't know, like if Shohei Ohtani, and we're about to talk with like the World Series in a second here. If Shohei Ohtani was amazing for like 50 games, like amazing, like was batting like 340, had like a 1.1 OPS, all that stuff, and then he got hurt, and then the Dodgers for the other 111 games, won a third of them, right? Like you're not going to go and say it's like, oh well, the Dodgers are terrible without Shohei, so he must have been the MVP. Like no, that's not really, that logic doesn't really work when you kind of like scale it out. You can for like a couple of games, but like for like half a season, it's kind of difficult. Because it's not like Correa was having like AL MVP numbers when he was playing. Like it's not like he was a firm, cohesive part of that discussion. Not to like discredit how great he was when he was playing, but I would honestly rather have given it to Santana just like from the defensive stuff. Like I think I would rather go Willie or Santana. I forget how many games Santana played. He was definitely closer to Castro than to Correa, but I would have rather given it to Castro or Santana than to Correa. Probably. I don't know. Maybe I'm downplaying his game a little bit, but
he was just so incredible. He was so huge for us.
No,
when he did play, like he was a big reason why we were playing so well.
Yeah.
No. Santana played 150.
Yeah, 150. Yeah,
150 from Santana.
Yeah.
So for me personally, I think I would say I don't know if Casals was my guy just because of how bad he was in the second half there. But I'd still say he's up there. Like he definitely should be considered for it. But yeah. No, that's that. That's that for me.
Yeah.
Castro, that. But a move that we both really agree with.
Yeah.
The Twins Pitcher of the Year award.
Yeah.
Went to our guy, Griffin Jax. Captain Jax, some may call him.
No, the all of the shout out to Griffin Jax little moments over the course of the year, all kind of bundled together into one award. They must have been listening, but no, it's a very well deserved award. I think Duran, collectively, he was great, but had his dark spots were really bad. His low low points, his blow ups were really ugly. From the standpoint of starters, Ober and Lopez had, I thought, great stretches, had great 7-8 start stretches, but neither had like a great collective season. they had very good seasons with some kind of great stretches in there. But I thought he was the best bullpen arm and the most consistent bullpen arm with.
Not even just that, like he was just the best pitcher in general for us, and there's a reason why he won that award. Bailey Over was fantastic for us, but he had some stretches where he made a lot of mistakes, especially towards the end of the year. He had a lot of rough games. Pablo Lopez had a bad first half of the year. It's pretty much not true that he had a bad first half of the year. Joe Ryan probably would have won this award had he stayed healthy.
I agree. I think I agree with that.
Joe Ryan probably would have won this award had he stayed healthy, but the issue was he got hurt midway through the season. He missed the entire season.
Yep.
Duran was rough for a lot of the season. Like, it was very hard. Like, Duran was not our best bullpen arm, and it's very clear that was the case. Griffin Jax had the case to one of the best non-closer relievers in baseball. Like, Griffin Jax has a case to be one of the best. Like he legit should probably be a closer for, I'd say, probably 20 out of 30 MLB teams.
I agree. Yeah.
Like, I would say Griffin Jackson would probably be a closer for – I'm trying to think of how many. I may say 20 out of 30. I might be, like, overstating a bit. Maybe, like, 15 out of 30.
If you –
20 out of 30.
Yeah. No, I think you're right.
So Griffin Jackson is a hell of a pitcher, and he's going to be a freaking beast in this league for years to come because he's so good at just being consistent and keeping up with things. And he knows how to get better. He knows how to work in the offseason and keep himself there.
This is very different from the other award where we're not even sure it's the right person. And even if we can kind of find a way where it is and like look at the checked boxes, like you don't feel like great about it versus like with this, like I am like fully confident and like 100% on board with this being for him. Like there's not really there's not really much to say with this as there is for the other one. So,
although another thing is here. So there's two other awards I want to discuss with you, Anders.
Yep.
The next one is Simeon Woods Richardson winning the Most Outstanding Rookie Award.
Yep.
This again feels like a no-brainer. I know Woods Richardson was very bad for the last month of the season.
Yep.
But with that being said, he was gassed. That's why. But for the first April, May, June, July, even August, like for the first 4.5 months of the season, he was phenomenal for us in terms of what you looked for in number 5 starter. He was phenomenal for us.
No, that like early May to I'd call it like early May to late July, he was great. And you would obviously mention, like Brooks Lee did not play to the level needed to get there, or at least not as consistently. Like he had great individual.
And he got hurt and he was out for a while, so that was the case. He was hurt. But he was not. He was never better than Simeon Woods Richardson was.
No,
anywhere, anytime.
Sure.
So Brooks Lee was not there for me. The only other rookies we really had this year were Zebby and David Vesta, which neither of them obviously played enough innings to really qualify, I would say, for this award. But I'm excited to see what Zebby and Festa do in the future. I definitely like Zebby and Festa more in the future than Woods Richardson personally, but we will see how that goes. But for that being said, Woods Richardson is probably the easiest choice here because really there were only really 2 guys in the choice for it, and it was Brooks Lee or him, and Brooks Lee didn't play. Yes. Austin Martin probably had a little case too, but I'd say Austin Martin was never that great, and he got sent down at the end of the year, so probably not him. Then the last award, which I am super excited about, although you could say Richardson maybe gets this one as well, but I think this one is a pretty easy choice also. Cole Sands won Most Improved Player. And I think this is the best choice they could have made. I think this is obvious. Like, we went from Cole Sands. So you know how like one team always has that one reliever on their team that they never bring out ever, but he's just on the roster for like stopping situations and basically like if they're so far down in the game, they're gonna put him in.
Yeah.
But he never pitches and he like never plays. That was Cole Sands last year. Cole Sands was never sent down, but he was just on our roster. But he pitched like 4 times in the last month of the season. But he was on our roster the whole time. He was never a major league pitcher last year, and no one really believed he ever should be on the major league roster. And then he comes out this year and becomes our number 3 option in the bullpen pretty easily.
Yeah.
And comes out this year and becomes like a guy that I want out there in the 7th inning. I want him there in the closest game in the 7th inning. I want Cole Sands out there to set up Jackson Duran for the final 2 innings. I want Cole Sands out there. So that's so his transformation from being this guy that shouldn't even be on the roster, why is he even on the team, to can we send him out there every single game at the 7th inning to just secure it? That is incredible. And what he's done this year, love it.
97 percentile walk rate, 88 percentile K rate.
I think he goes like 98, 99 also. Like he has an upper like 90 speed as well.
The four-seamer averages at 95.7, and amongst all right-handed pitchers, it's 94.7. But no, his split, curve, and sinker are all above the standard average for right-handers.
Like everything was good for him this year. His xERA, his xBA. I think he had at one point he had 3.28 ERA this season in 62 games, 71 innings. Like that's incredible.
Yeah.
For a pitcher, that's incredible for a reliever. That's great. And obviously, I'm very, very, very excited for how that was. Yeah. And dude, I just love it. I want to shout him out, man. I shouted him out a lot this year.
Yeah.
Him and Jackson, the 2 relievers I shouted the most, because obviously Duran gets a lot of attention because he's the closer. But what Jackson Sands did this year in our bullpen, even when Alcala was playing at his best, I thought Sands was our 3rd best bullpen reliever. And Alcala, I love Alcala. I think Alcala will get better. I think he got gas by the end of the year also. But I was very happy with how Sands played this year. And Sands, I'm excited to see what he can do in the future. I think what he did this year to get better, I think it's sustainable. I think what he did this year is sustainable, so I'm really excited to see what he can do. But yeah, so that's me. I love those guys. I'm really happy with that. Other awards to be known. Carlos Santana wins Defensive Player of the Year. Obviously, I don't think that's really a question. No, obviously, he's going to win the Gold Glove. Carlos Santana won the Bob Allison Award, which gives to Twins players who exemplifies determination, hustle, tenacity, and competitive spirit, and leadership both on and off the field. Fair. Royce Lewis won the Carl Pohlad Outstanding Community Service Award. That's crazy. But also he did a good thing with like Make-A-Wish and stuff like that. I think that's why they gave it to him.
He did good stuff throughout the year.
Ryan Jeffers won the Media Good Guy Award, which is awesome. The Mike Augustine Media Good Guy Award. Then the curveball of them all. Philadelphia Phillies left-handed pitcher Matt Strom won the Dick Siebert Award for the Upper Midwest Player of the Year. The Upper Midwest Player of the Year went to Matt Strom of the Philadelphia Phillies. Matt Strom, a native of West Fargo, North Dakota. A native of West Fargo, North Dakota. Went 6-2 with a 1.87 ERA, 3 saves, 18 holds, 11 walks, 7.9 strikeouts, and a .75 WHIP throughout the season. The 32-year-old ranked among qualified National League relievers, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so Matt Strom wins the Twins Award. Fire.
Sweet.
Former Twins outfielder, Hall of Famer, and current Los Angeles Angels special assistant Torrey Hunter is the winner of Kirby Puckett Award for Twins Alumni Community Service. And then, let's see. Then the 20th Annual Diamond Awards will honor the 2024 BBWA Award recipients, including the two be determined winners of the Herb Carneal Lifetime Achievement Award and the Terry O'Brien Award, as well as the Sherry Robertson Award, which was the Luke Keeschel for Twins Minor League Player of the Year, and Jim Rance Award went to Zoe Matthews for the Twins Minor League Pitcher Award. What a year then for Zoe Matthews. My guy started in single A, made it to the majors, won Minor League Pitcher of the Year, and finished the season on the Major League roster. I mean, you really can't script it much better. So yeah, that is awesome. We're very hyped. Those are all the awards for the Twins stuff. Now, Anders, let's finish off this amazing episode by talking about the worst World Series of all time.
This is the worst that Zac has ever felt for being right in his life.
I agree. I am so upset. If you guys go back and watch episode 18 of the Bleav in Twins podcast. It is back on our channel. Please go watch episode 18 before this. We made our postseason predictions. And in those postseason predictions, I regrettably and sadly chose Yankees-Dodgers to be the World Series Finals. And I was very upset about it while doing it. I was like, please, God, let me be wrong. Unfortunately, I am just a genius and I cannot be wrong. So, the Yankees and Dodgers is the World Series. And it is the worst World Series of all time. I will not be watching. I will be boycotting the World Series. I have already told Anders this. I will be boycotting the World Series. The two worst franchises in baseball I have to freaking watch in the World Series. And Anders over here is a Yankees fan, so I'm going to keep saying all this terrible stuff about the Yankees because it's true. This is the two worst franchises, the two worst, this is the worst media freaking thing ever. The media is going to be brutal this week.
No, I'm ready for a lot of the ESPN Yankees fans to kind of just start to roll out. But it's a great World Series that no one really wanted, in a funny way, because I think, like last year, the World Series did not get a ton of coverage in the national space just because, the Rangers won 68 games the year before. The Diamondbacks weren't even supposed to do anything. Like, they barely made it to the playoffs. And then it sucked because, that I thought that World Series last year was awesome. Because you had a team that had injected a lot of money into a roster, but still found a lot of really smart bullpen pieces to call up, and was a really, I thought, kind of nice blend. Not to the same extent, but sort of what the Yankees are now, where you get a couple of really good expensive pieces, and then you have these this nice kind of sprinkle complement of prospects and young guys that were brought up through the system, versus the scorching hot team, right? That's the fun story on the other side, which that was the Diamondbacks, and this year that was supposed to be the Mets. I kind of think the Subway Series kind of component that everyone was really excited to potentially see was, I think, added on by the sort of unique kind of unserious but also kind of romanticness of the Mets this year. I think a lot of people were looking forward to that. and it being kind of an even bigger Subway Series than what was anticipated. But instead, we're getting, the two kind of big market evil giants heading, going towards each other, which I'm excited to see as a Yankees fan. I mean, that's the thing. I'll differentiate myself, but also I'll compare and contrast myself from Zac with this. I am very excited to watch this World Series. I am not excited to hear people talk about it. That's how I would say it. So, yeah, I think a lot of people, especially non-Yankees and Dodgers fans, feel the same way.
Yeah, no, I agree. This is not going to be fun for anyone.
This is rough for Zac. This is really rough for Zac.
This is about as bad as it gets here. No, I'm not excited, but it's how it is in life.
I need your prediction, Zac.
My prediction is Yankees, and my prediction is Yankees in 6.
Okay, I'm gonna go Yankees.
I think the Dodgers pitching is gonna come back to earth here eventually, and they're finally facing an offense that can make them come down to earth pretty heavily. Aaron Judge will take it. Although I will admit, Aaron Judge has not been great in this postseason, and Andrews can also probably admit that Aaron Judge has been a little disappointing in this postseason.
He's had great individual moments in high leverage spots, but on the whole has been subpar. That is definitely true. If I am Boone, so I agree with Zac. I'm going to take the Yankees in 5. I think this is a bigger starting pitching mismatch than people realize in terms of the Yankees rotation versus the Dodgers rotation. The Dodgers don't even have 3. They don't even have a 4th starter. Like, it's just their bullpen, which if the most important game, and I believe I have the order of these things right, the most important game of this series is now. I'm going to go, and I let me just confirm the optics of this. I just want to very quickly confirm, because the Friday game, there's Cole, and so like a lot of it. Let's just assume, okay, we're gonna assume that Buehler is starting Game 3, which I think was what's going to happen just based off of the order of these other series. If I think he's broken, I know you agree with me there, Zac. If he is like just completely ruptured in Game 3, and they either have to let him in and just let him pitch, and the Yankees go out to an insane lead, then that's one thing. Or and then by the time and they just keep getting runs, or there's this nightmare scenario too where like the damage is already done, and you have to use your bullpen for like 6 and 2/3 innings. If you're the Dodgers, and then you have to orchestrate a bullpen game essentially, and then the next game play an actual bullpen game. So that Game 3 is going to be really important, like long term, like in terms of like management and schematics. That's a really critical win for the Yankees. That's the most important game to win, because then the momentum is just going to carry forward throughout. It's all going to trickle down. But I think in terms of the starters, I think it's a bigger mismatch than I think a lot of people want to admit. So I'm going to take Yankees in 5. And as a side note, if I am Boone, like I know they've maneuvered a couple things now, and that they've said they probably are going to do this, but they've done a couple people in cleanup throughout this series. You have to put Stanton in the 4th spot, because he has been excellent in the postseason. And you have to put him back there so that if they do decide to walk Judge, he's the one that comes up. So that's a really key decision that Boone needs to make that I would make. I would put Stan in the 4th spot as opposed to he's thrown Wells in there at certain points in the postseason. Chisholm had a bit there, but it has to be Stan for the entire World Series. That's really important, I think, as well.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I think I don't know much about either of these teams, to be completely honest with you. Like, I don't know a lot about every player on their team like you do, Anders, with the Yankees. What I will say here is one team has Shohei Ohtani, one team has Aaron Judge.
Yep.
I mean, you have the 2 best players in baseball against each other right now. And it'll be a really fun series to freaking watch. It will be a really fun series to see if Shohei Ohtani can become Shohei Ohtani and do his thing. But I will admit, I'm skeptical on the pitching of the Dodgers, and I think that the Yankees take advantage of this. And I'm skeptical on if the Yankees' offense can continue the pace they're going on. But their offense has been so good this year that I just have a trouble believing that they won't. Yeah.
It hasn't even been necessarily great in the playoffs. Like, they've only put up, I think the most runs they've put up they've won some games this postseason putting up just 4 runs or 5 runs. So it's not like, their path has looked a lot less, similar to like the Dodgers in the Mets series, where every single game ends with a final score of like 10-0 or like 12-2 or whatever it is, right? I will say this though, Zach, and I think I heard someone say this, and I think you might agree with me here. This is for you mentioned, you introduced the Judge and Shohei part of it. This is in a lot of ways a ladder match for the face of the league. Like, the winner of this gets the face of the league title.
100%.
So there's that kind of unique underlying element.
Well, I think Shohei Ohtani's already the face of the league, and I think that won't change.
But I that's the thing. I think if he loses in this, I think if Judge has a couple of great moments in this, not even.
I think if Judge had the clutch homer, like a walk-off homer, or even a big-time lead-taking homer late in the game. Like, I think Judge, I can see what you mean. I think I could see Judge.
I think there are right now.
What?
I think
how did I not see that?
There are, I think, 3 co-faces of the league. I think Judge, Ohtani, and then Harper. I think are like sort of the faces of the league for like casual baseball fans. Obviously, Trout has this sort of a bunch of weird asterisks around him, and Bobby Witt is awesome, but is not even necessarily under-marketed in the way that like Ramirez is, but more so just the team that he's attached to is a part of it. But I think Judge, Shohei, and Harper, I think, are the 3 kind of co-faces, and whoever wins this between Judge and Ohtani, I think, will surpass the other 2. That's what I would say is at stake here in terms of that dynamic of it specifically.
So I say Yankees in 6. What was your prediction, Anders?
Yankees in 5.
Okay. So we both have Yankees, but 1-5, 1-6 here. Anders, that's all we have for our show today, but I do have one last question for you.
Oh, boy.
Because I found this out. I don't know why I didn't see this earlier. I feel like this could be talking about earlier, but I don't know why I didn't. But Tua is coming back to practice with the hopes of playing on Sunday, or the hopes of playing in Arizona. I think, is that this week or is that next week? That he's playing that would happen. I'm not sure. But your thoughts on that, Anders? On Tua coming back and playing for the Dolphins. Your thoughts on that just in general?
Yeah, no, I mean, if you have a chance to make the playoffs, then you should. And I think to this point, I think the Jets have been disappointing and not what they were supposed to be. I think the Jags, are in a lot of ways very similar in that sense where they weren't really what they were supposed to be. I'm trying to think. Obviously, the Bengals have not gotten off to a great start. I mean, they won this week, but I think I think a lot of people still have questions about like the Colts they're 4-3 and they beat the Dolphins, but I think a lot of people are still have some questions about the defense. I think a lot of people wonder how sustainable the winning methods are of the Chargers. Obviously, the Broncos, I think, are riddled with question marks, and a lot of people don't really know exactly what they are. So it's a fine position to be in, where if you add a quarterback that you've done a lot of winning with in the past couple of years, that you should, and he has the opportunity to play, with 10 games left in the season, you should take that opportunity seriously. So I'm in full support of him coming back. I know you're not as much of a Tua guy. I would even call myself like a Tua guy, in the way that I'm like a Baker guy, for instance, but like I am a Tua supporter at the bare minimum.
Yeah, no, I know I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not a big Tua guy, but I will admit that every game the Dolphins play makes me realize maybe Tua is not that bad.
Right. Yeah.
Hold up. 1 second. I might have sounded 1 second here. I'm checking something. 1 second. I want to check that sign quick. Give me 1 second. Sorry. Give me 1 second here. I don't know if this is. Let's see. Nope. Never mind.
Are we getting a third breaking news reel in the episode?
I don't think so. But I wanted to quickly just check one thing here because I don't know if this is true or not. But I don't want to break it here in case I don't know if it is true.
Okay.
I don't know if this is true or not, so I don't want to break it. In case it is. Okay, never mind. It's fake. Okay, we're good. Okay, I'm not gonna freaking break it. Thank God. Thank God. Okay. I was gonna break some major cultural news here, but we are not gonna do that. Thank God. I got very terrified for a very long time there.
What was the fake headline?
The fake headline was that 24/7 was 24/7 Sports headline that said Quinn Ewers plans to sell the rest of the season to prepare for the NFL draft.
Okay.
That was the fake headline, and I was about to go absolutely nuts if that happened.
Right. Yeah.
But I think it was fake. I think it was fake. I really hope.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know. But they posted a tweet. Well, actually, so the 24/7 did post a tweet that said Quinn Ewers is sitting out the rest of the season, and they deleted it really shortly after. It just happened. But we don't know if that's true or not. But obviously, that's it. I'm gonna say it's fake. So anyway, Andrew, do you want to do the wrap up here? Sorry, I thought I saw something. I'm not gonna bring up. That was fake headline, but we're not gonna do that.
You had me dancing there.
I got very excited also, but not for the same reasons.
Right. Yeah. No, I would love to wrap this up. Great episode, Zach. It's always great to see you, obviously. Guys, this has been Bleav in Twins, episode 22, alongside Zac Tipton. I have been Anders Pryor. If you want to stream and download our content, you can find our show and all other Bleav shows that you guys love to listen to on the Bleav.com website. If you want to listen to us, you can go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else you consume your sports media throughout the week. If you are watching us on YouTube right now, thank you, obviously. Congrats for finding us. Subscribe, turn on post notifications, comment, like, share, do whatever you want to do. We really appreciate it. Go Twins, go Vikings, go baseball, I guess, right? Just the love of the sport broadly.
What love of the sport?
For the love of the sport.
What love of it? I don't even know.
Zac doesn't love it as much right now. But hey, no, it'll be if you take away the logos, it'll be a decent watch.
Will it? I'm just kidding.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We're gonna see you later this week. Probably. We'll probably do. We're gonna find a more consistent World Series kind of regimen in terms of how we cover this thing. But we will see you guys soon. Great to see you, Zac. Signing off.
Seeing you.